It's Friday night in Ocean City, Maryland. Joshua and Jeanie are in town to celebrate Memorial Day weekend.
Like everyone else, they came down here to have a good time, but unfortunately, it didn't end so well.
The likable couple from Virginia soon disappears without a trace. With no clues, no witnesses, and no crime scene, it seems like it'll take a miracle for investigators to find out where Joshua and Jeanie are.
We had done so much in this case to find them, but eventually, if the trail goes cold, so does your investigation.
Which one of these Memorial Day weekend partiers may be the killer? On Friday, May 24, 2002, Joshua Edward Ford and Martha Margene Jeanie Crutchley travel from their home in Virginia to Ocean City, Maryland.
Ocean City is just a beautiful family resort. We're very busy for about 6 months, a little longer now with the golf season, but usually people come down here and have a good time. I've been here for 36 years. My wife and I raised all of our children here at great schools. It's just a beautiful place to come. Like everyone else, they came down here to have a good time. They came here, they got here on a Friday night, they went shopping, got some things to eat, and they plan on having a great weekend.
They check into a condominium complex on Coastal Highway. It has all the comforts of home, including a kitchen so guests can prepare their own meals.
Friends say that Jeanie and Josh are crazy about each other. And even though there's a significant age difference between them, they're hoping for a long and happy life together.
Family members describe Joshua as an intelligent, adventurous person who could do anything.
After serving in the U.S. Army for 8 years, he marries his high school sweetheart and they have a son named Zachary. After his marriage ends in divorce, the most important thing in Joshua's life is his son.
And Jeanie is an insurance executive accountant from Virginia. In 1999, she goes to Boston on a business trip. And it's there that she meets Joshua at a Christmas party. The two hit it off and stay in touch. Joshua, who works as a mortgage broker, eventually relocates to Virginia, where he and Jeanie move into a home together.
They were a great match. They loved each other that deeply. Jeanie and Josh were out at a local bar, eating some wings, watching a Boston game. Having fun, just not hurting anyone, just enjoying each other's company and enjoying what Ocean City has to offer. When the Boston game was over, Josh, who's very close with his brother Mark, calls him up in Boston. Something happened where Mark and Josh couldn't talk right now, and Mark says, "I'll talk to you tomorrow." After that phone call, when he said, "We'll talk tomorrow," he hung up and they walked out. Jeanie and Josh got on the bus with the Green Turtle and they were sitting down, and 2 other young people got on the bus and they didn't have the correct change, and you have to have the correct change. Jeanie and Josh said, "We'll pay for it. We've got the exact change, we'll help you out." And they said, "Okay, we'll buy you a drink at another local bar, a very popular bar down here, and they said, that's great.
That bar is, in fact, the hottest nightclub in town.
There's about an hour or 2 hour wait to get into this local bar, and it's worth it.
The club has 18 different bars, several different dance floors, and can hold as many as 5,000 people. It's the perfect place to celebrate a special event or a holiday weekend.
Jeanie and Josh got off the bus with the two people they had just met and paid for the bus fare, and two other people got off with them. So there were 6 of them. And while they were waiting in line, the female that got on the bus, who did not have the exact change, was snorting Xanax in line and being very flirtatious with another male who was on the bus and got off with them, and with Joshua.
In spite of any overly friendliness, the 3 couples spend the rest of the night partying together. And to anyone who might notice, Joshua, Jeanie, and their new friends appear to be having the time of their lives.
Wednesday, after Memorial Day, I get a phone call from Detective Mike Boone at Fairfax County Police Department. And he asked me, he says, hey Scott, do you know about these 2 missing people we have in Virginia? They came to your location and they haven't come back yet. And he went in depth with everything. And Jeanie, she had an appointment with her staff that she had scheduled. And even while she was down here, she would call her friends, which worked with her, just to tell them having a good time. And that was her character, always to be in touch with her friends and family. Josh was a very good mortgage broker and had a very substantial check waiting for him, which was never picked up. Now, we get missing person people down here daily in the summertime, but they're always found within a half hour to an hour. We're very good at what we do. But the information I was getting wasn't your standard missing person. And I was the only one in the office. I just happened to answer the phone. No one else was in. What Mike was telling me was disturbing. And I called my supervisor. After about 20 minutes trying to explain to this guy what's going on, he ordered me to go home. Obviously, I didn't go home. When I became a cop, I became a cop to help people. Now, I've never disobeyed an order in my career. Secret Service, Marine Corps, or this, SWAT team. That was the first time I've ever done that. And I knew I was going to be in some trouble. Insubordination is not taken lightly. But he didn't want to pay the overtime. I get to the Atlantis condominium where Jeanie and Josh were staying. I went in because they had no more expectation of privacy. They were supposed to be out Monday, and now it's Wednesday, so I didn't need a search warrant. However, I did bring the security guard from that condo and another uniformed officer, Brian Brown, to stay outside and cover my back while I'm inside. When I got there, it was as if they just got there. The suitcases are on the bed, clothing, some in the bag, some hung up. Her purse and all her identification other than her driver's license was there. His wallet, cash, computers, cameras was there other than his driver's license, both from Virginia. There was glasses of wine. There was one dish in the sink. In the garbage pail was a receipt under a box of waffles. Empty box, of course. And that receipt was from a local grocery store, but it was time-stamped and dated. And it told us when they bought all these items, which was Friday night. So of course, we have guys up there now looking at the cameras while I'm here. I took that receipt and did an inventory of what was on the receipt compared to what's left. Other than that box of waffles, everything they purchased Friday night was still there, unopened, the following Wednesday. So pretty much I know what happened to them was probably Saturday night because they probably ate the waffles Saturday morning.
Police also find Jeannie's car is in the parking lot outside.
I speak with Jeannie's sister, Anita, out in Arizona, and not that I needed her permission, but she gave it to me anyway to go into Jeannie's car. She believed she was in the trunk.
Neither Jeanie nor Joshua are in the car. There's no sign of a struggle there or in the condo.
Detective Boone back then emailed me a picture of Jeanie and Josh, and I was able to compose a missing person flyer with their picture on it.
The media is alerted, and the public is asked for help in finding this missing couple.
We called everywhere. We called the morgues in Delaware, Maryland. We called hospitals. We called jails looking for them. So we ruled out that they weren't arrested and needed medical attention for the reason of being missing.
Jeannie's sister offers a $10,000 reward for information leading to her safe return.
But as the hours pass by, there's no news and no sign of Joshua and Jeanie.
It's about Friday night, 2 days into the investigation, and we're all exhausted. We worked 70 hours straight, and we just needed a few hours. And I went home about 11:30 at night, and I get a phone call about 2 in the morning from PFC Hugh Bean. And he said, we need you up at a burglary at Hooters. Of course, I'm a detective. I have to work other cases as well. And I'm thinking, man, I'm exhausted. Can't you call someone else in? He says, but they have the driver's license of your 2 missing people in our suspect's purse.
On Friday, May 24, 2002, Joshua Edward Ford and Martha Margene Jeanie Crutchley arrive in Ocean City, Maryland to have fun on Memorial Day weekend. They enjoy a night out with new friends at the hottest nightclub in town. And then they disappear without a trace. Until their driver's licenses turn up, giving investigators hope that Jeanie and Joshua are about to be found. The officers place a call to Detective Scott Burnell.
It would have probably taken me normally 45 minutes to get there. I was there in about 20 because I knew we had a break.
A man and woman have been caught in the middle of burglarizing a popular restaurant.
They didn't take all the crap out of Hooters and shove it in this Jeep Cherokee. She had it lined up outside, in order, folded, at least 25 feet down the sidewalk.
Feeling some distress coming on, the female suspect tells officers that she needs some medication from her purse, which is how police stumble onto the driver's licenses belonging to Jeanie and Joshua. But they also find something else in there. 4 spent bullet casings and 1 live round.
That 1 live round was concerning. They didn't go to the range or all 5 shots would have been gone, right?
The male suspect is carrying a 9mm handgun, and in their vehicle is a 3rd handgun. This one, a .45 caliber. Officers determine that the suspects are a married couple named Benjamin B.J. Sifrit and Erica Sifrit. They take B.J. in and leave Erica to be questioned by Detective Burnell.
When I get there, I noticed the male suspect wasn't there, and I was pretty livid about that. But the female suspect was still there. I Mirandized her personally. She signed and waived everything and spoke to me. She kept telling me she had no clue why those licenses belonging to Jeanie Crutchley and Joshua Ford were in a purse. To her, she sounds like she's separating herself. Well, unfortunately to me, she's involving herself more. She'd have been better off telling me, oh yeah, we were at the bar with them, they asked me to hold on to him, and I simply forgot to bring him back to him. But when you tell me you have no clue why, and then say, if you want to know why they're in there, talk to my husband. So she knows why, she just doesn't want to tell me. She had no reason why she had 4 spent casings and 1 live bullet in her purse. The rest that we found was disturbing. We found flexi-cuff handcuffs. These were actual plastic handcuffs. We used them in the Marine Corps. You slide your arm in, you zip it tight, but they're actually handcuffs. They had several of them. They had ski masks, gloves, electrical tape, the registration tag to alter what their license plate would be read if a police officer was behind them.
Aside from knives and lock-picking tools, police find one other very important clue.
We found a parking permit belonging to the Rainbow condominium. Another break for us, through God, was that there was an apartment number on it, a unit number. You'll never see that anywhere else. I have Erica transported, and based on the information and evidence we saw in their truck under exigent circumstances, believing, and I truly believed, there was a high possibility that Jeanie and Josh were being held at the Rainbow condominium against their will. So we have more players, more bad guys. Now again, I was on the SWAT team, I was the team leader. My team commander, Rick Morick, was with me. And that's the only reason we didn't call on our SWAT team, was we need to get in there fast, and we were already there. Rick and I were the only ones that went in. We also had an ambulance waiting downstairs in hopes and prayers that we did find Jeanie and Josh. They'd get medical attention almost immediately. But going into the Rainbow condominium, to the bad guys unit, we didn't know it was a 2-story unit. Top floor, condo. Rick stays to the right, and I go upstairs. Now, even though I'm not seeing bodies, I'm still cataloging everything. When I get upstairs, I smell a heavy odor of bleach. I see paint cans. I go in the bathroom, no door on the wall, no door on the hinges. And the bathroom's immaculate. The bedroom's immaculate. We can only look in places where a body can hide. We can't look in the kitchen drawer. The body can't fit in there. So our scope of our search is very limited. And where we could see, we did not find Jeanie and Josh alive. They weren't in the apartment, unfortunately. That was like the last hope for me, in hopes that they were still alive. It was a wing and a prayer, actually. But they weren't. However, in plain view, as I look to the left, it's an open area, and the couch is in the middle of the room, but behind the couch is what's called a couch table. And as I look down, and in plain view is a key attached to a keychain. And on that keychain, it was printed Atlantis Condominium. Now, we were at the Rainbow condominium, where our suspects were staying. The Atlantis condominium was where Jeanie and Josh were staying. My lieutenant, he goes, "Scott, you see what's over here?" And I look over, and there's on the glass table, it looked like cocaine, and a line of cocaine with a roll-up currency next to it. But what was more disturbing was what was right next to it. And it was one bullet fragment and one bullet with blood and flesh on it. And on that same table, on a stack of pictures, was the first picture was Jeanie and Josh. So where Erica told me that she didn't know where those driver's licenses came from and had no idea who these people were, she's full of shit. Now we have corroborating evidence.
But the question still remains. Where are Jeanie and Joshua? On Friday, May 24th, 2002, Joshua Edward Ford and Martha Jeanie Crutchley arrive in Ocean City, Maryland to have fun on Memorial Day weekend. They enjoy a night out with new friends at the hottest nightclub in town. And then they disappear without a trace.
I get a phone call about 2 a.m. from PFC Hugh Bean. He says, "We need you up at a burglary at Hooters. They have the driver's license of your 2 missing people in our suspect's purse."
Officers determine that the suspects are a married couple named Benjamin B.J. Sifrit and Erica Sifrit. But a quick search of the suspect's condo only turns up a bullet with blood and flesh on it and a photograph of the missing couple.
Since we couldn't find 2 human bodies at the Rainbow, we had to secure it, and now for a more in-depth search, we have to apply for a search warrant. Forensically, you could tell that in the bathroom on the second floor of the Rainbow condominium, blood had pooled so thick throughout the entire bathroom. It was over a half-inch high on the baseboard.
When investigators arrive at the bathroom, it appears clean. After noticing an abundance of cleaning supplies, investigators determine that they were purchased on Sunday, May 26th, the day after Jeanie and Joshua go missing. A closer look at BJ and Erica reveals some unusual details.
I went back to interview our suspects, Benjamin and Erica. I first did a little bit of a background to see what I was dealing with, and I found out BJ, Benjamin, they refer to him as BJ, Navy SEAL. I found out that he was the youngest ever to graduate BUD/S and was what's called honor man out of his platoon. I'm not sure how large his class was, but in the Marine Corps, I was an honor man in my platoon. And basically, out of the 88 men that I graduated with, I was selected as the #1 recruit, and that's what's called honor man. And I was awarded my dress blues, and I graduated with 3 other honor men. It's a very prestigious award. And until BJ, I have never met another honor man in my career. He's the first one. Plus, he was the youngest. He was 19, which was the age I graduated boot camp. And I thought maybe there might be some mutual respect here. So I told him that, look, I'm with you. I'm a patriot. I'm a Marine, and I'm also an honor man, which you never met one either. BJ in the Navy SEAL code, just like the Marine Corps. Deny, deny, deny. You get caught in anything, you deny, deny, deny. He was smart enough not to say anything. He didn't even deny anything. He just, I want an attorney. But he said, if you want to know anything, talk to my wife. That's exactly what I did. I spent a total of 18 hours with Erica. But Erica was a little different, and I kind of led her to believe that because I was a Marine Corps honor man, BJ showed me some respect, which he normally wouldn't, and told me everything.
Erica claims that BJ has a love of Hitler and has a swastika tattooed on his chest. She says he also loves exotic snakes.
Erica has OCD. She pretty much packed everything in her household to come down here for 10 days. And that's including her snakes and crocodile. That snake was there when I got there, and I almost had a heart attack. You open a big Tupperware bucket up, you don't expect to see this python.
Less surprisingly, but no less strangely, Erica tells police that both she and BJ have a mutual obsession with Hooters paraphernalia.
Normally I wouldn't have done this. I'm glad I did, and I asked her, look, I need a percentage, and you know it. Give it to me. 80-20, 70-30, 60-40 of being dead or alive, just tell me. She said 50-50. That's all I needed. That's all I needed to show she's involved and knows about what happened to them. And I also know that anytime you're in the hot seat, you minimize your involvement. It was based on her information that she got in my car in the front passenger seat. And I had a female public safety aide behind me and a caravan of other officers and detectives following me. But she agreed to take us to the dumpster that they dumped the bodies in. And we took a chance on her, and she took us to one dumpster just over the Maryland-Delaware line in Fenwick. Hours searching it, not one piece of evidence or any indication that our victims were in there. And you would have seen transfer, blood transfer, anything. So I bring her back to headquarters, I interview her again. This time she swears to me she remembers where she brought him. Now we're on our way to Rehoboth. It's about a 45-minute drive.
The sudden improvement of Erica's memory may be due to the fact that she, through her lawyer, enters into a special agreement called a Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU.
It's a deal that says that in return for a lesser charge, Erica will testify against BJ in court and say where the bodies are hidden. The only catch is Erica must pass a polygraph test. But if she does, the state promises not to prosecute her for murder.
On the way there, Erica again is in my front passenger seat, seatbelted in, front cuffed, and our PSA is logging everything both of us said. Erica is very flirtatious with me. She says, "Scott, you like me, you think I'm attractive. If you saw me at a bar, you'd come up to me and buy me a drink, right? I mean, I'm cute, right?" This woman has no concept of the trouble she's in, but she's talking. And I'm not asking the questions, which is great for me. We get to Delaware in Rehoboth. I'm with Vicky outside the dumpster. Vicky says, "Scott, there's just not enough." But anyway, I went back to Erica and again, I said, "Erica, we're done. I'm taking you back to headquarters. You don't have to talk to me anymore." Because I knew what she was going to say. Sometimes with suspects, when you have to pull teeth with them, you have to be a little more authoritative with them, almost like a father figure. I was a little more authoritative with Erica, and she got a little bit upset, and she said, "I'm telling you, we killed him. He cut them up into 6 pieces, and we threw them in different dumpsters, and this was one of them." What she told me changed the course of this investigation. Up until that point, I'm thinking we're looking for human bodies that are intact rather than body parts. She had told me our victims were dismembered at the head, arms, and legs, including the torso into 6 different pieces, and everything was packaged separately. Even knowing they're dead, I still thank God that they threw these body parts in Delaware. If these remains had been thrown in Maryland, we would never have found one body part. That's a guarantee. Delaware has a system. They can tell you 5 years prior where your garbage is. We contacted the state dump in Delaware. Extremely helpful. Thank God for them too, and we had 100 volunteers working out in 90 to 100 degree heat. As I'm interviewing Erica and she's giving me a little by little by little, I'm having that relayed up to the guy searching at the dump. And she told me that Josh's torso will be in a military style canvas bag. I actually arrived on scene as they had found that and were inventorying it. I had witnessed the condition of Joshua's remains. The torso was wrapped in blankets that came from the Rainbow condominium. The only thing I can say is I was thankful that he was dead before that happened. Or I prayed he was. Prior to me getting there, the searchers had found a leg, which later proved to be my victim's leg from Jeanie Crutchley, and an arm. Of course, we believed it was Joshua's, but without DNA, we couldn't say anything until that came back because unfortunately, they probably weren't the only 2 victims in any dump.
Detective Burnell spots something in the distance.
And I said, "Jimmy, walk out there until I tell you to stop." He does, and like your wife with the furniture, a little left, a little right, a little left. Right there, look down. Jimmy looks down, you see his head go from the left to the right, and he says, "It's his fucking arm." What was so significant about the second arm was it had a tattoo on it. Josh had a tattoo of his grandfather's dojo up in Boston tattooed on his arm. And when we found that arm, still had to do DNA, but I can guarantee you there's no one else in that dump with that tattoo.
Friends and family are devastated by Joshua and Jeannie's murder. It's especially hard on Joshua's brother because it's his second inexplicable loss.
Joshua Ford, 8 months prior to his murder, his niece was murdered, beheaded, and her heart cut out and buried in a shallow grave on a beach is what the information we received. And they say lightning doesn't strike twice. Josh's mom, her grandchild, now her son, 8 months later.
While still a lot of unanswered questions, investigators charge BJ with the death and dismemberment of Joshua and Jeannie. And with Erica's cooperation, they hope to prove it in a court of law. The police find the bodies of Joshua and Jeanie. They already have 2 suspects in custody, Benjamin B.J. Sifrit and his wife, Erica Sifrit. Friends and family are devastated by Joshua and Jeannie's murder. While still a lot of unanswered questions, investigators charge B.J. with the death and dismemberment of Joshua and Jeanie. And with Erica's cooperation, they hope to prove it in a court of law. Believing she's protected by an MOU agreement, Erica cooperates with investigators. But in a bizarre twist, Erica blows her MOU deal by making incriminating statements before her polygraph test.
She admits to being in the room with BJ and telling him to do it, to shoot Jeanie and Joshua.
Her lawyer tries to force it through, but the courts say no. Erica is no longer protected by it. Even without Erica's continued cooperation, investigators feel they have a pretty good idea of what happened on Saturday, May 25th.
We found 2 other victims of Erica and BJ that made it out alive. Erica had a $10,000 ring in her purse from her grandmother and about another $5,000 or $7,000 worth of jewelry. She would hide this purse, which activates the machine, BJ, and he goes and does what she says. The female had a gun put in her mouth and was told, "I or we just killed 2 other motherfuckers here last week. I have no problem doing it again. Where's the fucking ring?"
This stolen purse game is the same one played with Jeanie and Joshua on Friday night. It starts at the hottest nightclub in town, where BJ and Erica make a friendly proposal.
"Hey, let's go back to our place. We got a jacuzzi tub, looks over the ocean," and invited the 4 of them back. They go back to the condos, and only Jeanie and Josh, who lived close by, are the ones who went.
Minutes after opening the door of the condo with keys from her purse, Erica claims her purse is missing. BJ flies into a rage and points a gun at Joshua and Jeanie. He forces them to take off their clothes. Then, the terrified couple makes a break for it.
When they ran into the bathroom naked and shut and locked the door, BJ looks to Erica and says, "Well, now what do I do?" Erica says, "Well, you got them naked. You kill them." BJ can't get through the door because Josh is holding the door up, holding it closed. So Erica goes out on the balcony, which extends to the bathroom, running back and forth as a spotter, telling where BJ to shoot through the door. So a shot goes through the door. The door is kicked in with such force that the doorknob damages the corner bead in the wall. And based on what Erica told me, Josh looks up and says, "Why are you doing this? I'm in the Army. You're in the Navy." BJ says, "Fuck you, motherfucker." Boom, boom. Well, he wants to implement Erica in this just as much as he is and gives her the gun. "Here, now you fucking shoot her." She misses. Based on his mannerisms and character and their relationship, if this wasn't verbatim, I bet you I'm real close. "Give me that gun, you stupid bitch." Gives her a knife. "Go kill her." Erica goes down and stabbing her. Later tells our investigator from the Secret Service, "I never knew how hard it was to cut through human skin." Laughing, joking, as she says it. I can guarantee you BJ went down and cut her throat because she was just screaming so loud, and he just didn't want to be heard, because with the amount of blood that our forensics unit said was puddled, you can't get that amount of blood unless the heart's still pumping. A reasonable conclusion would be that BJ went down and cut her throat. and then decapitated her right there.
Police charge both Benjamin B.J. Sifrit and Erica Sifrit with murder. But with so many details still remaining unknown, will prosecutors be able to convince a jury? After careful consideration, the state decides to try BJ and Erica separately. On March 31, 2003, the trial of Benjamin B.J. Sifrit begins. BJ takes a stand in his own defense.
He got up on the stand and told him he was passed out downstairs in the parking lot in his Jeep because he was so intoxicated, and he was woke up to Erica, who was very disturbed and just acting crazy, saying she just killed these two people and you got to help me cover it up, which is a total bunch of shit. Remember about that bathroom door I told you was kicked in so hard you would think, as well as everyone else did, there's no way Erica did that. Erica weighs under 100 pounds. Joshua was slumped behind the door. There's no way she kicked in that door. If that door was spoken about, or if BJ had been asked about that bathroom door being kicked in, it would have put him there before Josh's death. I kept writing our deputy state's attorney talk about the bathroom door, but he had an ego, and I was beneath him. And who the fuck am I to give him a question? Never talked about it. Then when the verdict came back, not guilty on first and second degree murder on Josh, my heart sank. When we were dismissed, I had to walk out a different way of the courtroom because I couldn't face the family. BJ got convicted of helping Erica with the bodies after she killed them, which that's not how it went, but that's what their jury believed. And the judge even said it, you are a butcher, talking to BJ. You belong in jail the rest of your life. He didn't buy that bullshit. I wish we had trial by judge rather than jury.
On June 3, 2003, Erica Sifrit's trial begins.
You would think this would appear to be a slam dunk. Everything pointed at Erica, though. The gun was registered in her name. She had it on her at the Hooters burglary. The 4 spent casings of 1 live bullet are in her purse. My 2 missing people, now victims, their licenses were in her purse.
Erica also has a ring belonging to Joshua, and at least 2 spent bullets from Joshua's body.
For trophies. They were going to be dipped in lacquer with the blood and flesh still on them and made into necklaces for BJ and Erica.
The only thing missing from the prosecution's case is a definite motive. But there are theories.
Erica played a game because she was so insecure. BJ had cheated on her at one time while he was up cold weather training in Alaska. Well, she surprised him and went up there. She's allowed in his room and she goes through his emails and finds out about the affair. Writes this female an email acting as if she is BJ, threatening to kill her kids and burn down her house, and she actually contacted the authorities. Well, Erica had such low self-esteem and with BJ and was so insecure. What better way to show your love for me than to kill with me? That's what this is about. If you want a reason for these murders, they were thrill kills to satisfy her ego and her insecurities. She was the catalyst behind all of this. She gave the order to kill Jeanie and Josh. But it was all about her insecurity, her low self-esteem. Again, if BJ will kill for me, I know he loves me. If he'll kill with me, he loves me even more. That's what this is about.
The jury seems to agree, and on June 11, 2003, they find Erica Sifrit guilty of first-degree murder, as well as theft, burglary, and other related charges.
In spite of their own pain and suffering, the families of Joshua and Jeanie ask prosecutors not to pursue the death penalty. They don't believe in it, and they think that life in prison is punishment enough. The prosecutors agreed.
On August 14, 2003, Erica sentenced to life plus 20 years.
If they never committed this burglary, we'd have never found them. They'd have killed more, and that's a guarantee. There'd have been a lot more victims, a lot more families suffering if they didn't have this invincible attitude. You always have to know your whereabouts. You always have to know who's around you. Jeanie and Josh weren't alone. You know, they dropped their guard, and that's the bottom line. They thought they were with two other nice people just like them, and it turns out they were with the devil.
For the family and friends of Jeanie and Joshua, the healing process can now begin.
It was killing me, this case. You know, that poor mother who I met, Mark and his wife Debbie, and what they've been through already. And now they're going through it again. And that closure crap that people talk about, there's no such thing. There's no closure. There's acceptance. You have to deal with that the rest of your life. How is that closure? But they'll have acceptance that they have their loved one back and they can bury them properly. You know, this poor family, today, I still can't talk to them. I'm ashamed of the outcome. But we gave it everything we got. We never had a case like this down here. Never in the history of this agency. When I got these two missing people initially, Jeanie and Josh, when they were just missing, not one detective would come in and help me. My supervisor ordered me to go home. If I didn't do what I did, we'd still have two missing people. And serial killers still out there. There hasn't been a day that's gone by that I haven't thought about Jeanie and Josh. It changes your life.